This program is brought to you by Gwokoland Group.
His company connected the first mobile phone call in India, and he likes to be known as a trailblazer. He bought this $10 million penthouse when he relocated to Singapore from Beverly Hills. My guest this week is used to being larger than life, especially if you consider that he wants his company to be known as the Apple of Asia. He's been on an acquisition spree over the last few years, but the results of his last financial year have caused a bit of unhappiness among his shareholders. So what's next for the man who hails from one of India's top business families? I speak to the founder and chairman of the Spice Group, Dr. B.K. Modi. Dr. B.K. Modi is not one to shy away from publicity. His reputation precedes him. He's partial to the unconventional, has a taste for expensive homes, and a knack for spotting new businesses. His company, Spice Global, is a telecommunication and entertainment conglomerate with subsidiaries in India, Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. His father, Gujamal Modi, was a nationalist who founded one of India's largest industrial conglomerates, the Modi Group. But B.K. Modi is vehement about creating his own business empire his way. Dr. B.K. Modi, chairman of the Spice Group, thank you for joining me here on Powerlist Asia.
Thank you.
Let's talk first about how you have scored several firsts in your career. You were there with the first photocopier machine together with Xerox, the first mobile phone plant with Alcatel, the first cellular service with Telstra Australia. So the partnerships aside, let's just focus on this passion that you have to walk down this road less traveled.
I think I always feel that technology is a great equalizer. I think it's a shame that we have these two different worlds which are being divided because of technological gap. So we have digital divides, we have automation divide. So we have all these divides. So it's not that the people are not productive or they cannot compete. It's because of the tools they have in hands are not sufficient. So I think it's time that we bring this equalization of fact.
But you certainly see yourself as that bridge.
Yeah, I like to do whatever I can because I think as a businessman, it's my passion to bring technology in the hands of the youth.
Good. And you saw it necessary to partner with big names. You had Xerox, Alcatel, Telstra. Yet you were also a person without a track record at that time. So how did you get these big names and the big boys to bank on you?
I think if I look at my first collaboration, which was Xerox, I remember going to the president, Peter McCullough at that time, and he said, we want to come to India, but we don't know how. So I told them that, you have to partner with somebody who knows India. So initially you start something, prove it, it works, prove people want copiers. We did copy shops, we did a lot of seminars to convert people from stencil to plain paper copy. And as we saw the market getting created, and as they got convinced, then we moved into the main projects. Initially I was after them, later on they were after me.
And of course in the 90s there was still that debate of whether the mobile business will really take off, and yet you went full on into it. So what gave you that confidence?
No, I think what was happening in that time was that countries like India had a very bad fixed line system also. So there was a very spent up demand on the fixed line. You used to wait for 2 months to get a phone connection. So we thought that we can jump the technology. So we don't have to first put the whole fixed line system and then go to mobile. Let we jump the system and go straight to mobile. And today, if you see, we have mobile connection, which is connecting nearly 75% of India.
You've also been dubbed a futurepreneur, as opposed to an entrepreneur. So what crystal ball do you look at?
I want to see what's in future, and I go and see what's happening in the world wherever it is. Previously, people used to keep technology to themselves. Today, with the people like Android, Facebook, Twitter, all these new companies, they want to make the technology free. I think Google was the first company, I would say, who changed the rules of the game. It's a very open technology. So I think today the industry leaders, the young leaders, are also in the world are changing the way they do business. They are not trying to control technology. They are driven by money, but they are also driven by the fact that if they can work as one world, and people around the world have same needs, then they don't need to segment the markets. Their thinking is to service the 7 billion people of the world, not a particular nations.
How do you dream these dreams?
I don't dream it. I do daydreaming, as they say, because I travel a lot. I go around the world. I don't normally stay in one place more than 2-3 days. And when I travel, I see things happening in different parts of the world. And I think I see the demand in different parts of the world. So I connect what I see in one part of the world, which I find will be useful in other part of the world. That's why I live in places where things are happening.
Like Singapore?
Like Singapore.
After the break, Dr. Modi addresses the $100 million loss for his company in the last financial year, when they were caught wrong-footed by a sea change in technology.
I've seen these things happening. So it's not first time for me, it's a third time for me.
Vasantham. Get to know Bollywood like never before. The action, the drama, the beauty. Journey to the heart of Indian cinema, Singapore style.
Namaste, Bollywood!
An exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the magic of Bollywood. Namaste Bollywood. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Only on Vasantham.
You've recently gone on a buying spree over the last few years. You've bought up companies in Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, and these are the countries that you're represented in, as well as South Africa, I understand. So you seem to be focusing largely on emerging markets.
The technology is today coming from markets like US, Korea, Japan, China. And the market where it's needed is what we call eye to eye, which is Ivory Coast to Indonesia, because they have a youth population which is increasing. The youth is going for brands which are global, and they are going for technology which is global. But also, they are also have a limited amount of money. So if you take Apple, you take Samsung, they are at a certain price point. But they have so many features because they are produced for global market. So we de-feature some of these things to reduce cost. The second thing which is important is the, as you said, the cool and the branding. And that's why you need the right software. So we say our phone is also Android. Samsung is Android phone, and so are ours.
Would that also define the position of your brand?
From inside the phones, our phone is similar. And the young people have started appreciating it. So Spice brand has become a big brand in India, and we have bought the local brands. So when we bought the company in Indonesia, we bought the #1 local brand, which was Nexian.
Let's talk about your results for financial year 2012. It hasn't been exactly glowing. You've registered losses of $188 million for profit after tax. Talk to us about where these losses are coming from.
What happened was that when we bought these companies, we paid a huge amount of money for goodwill into these companies.
Which is in Thailand.
Which is in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand. Even in Singapore, I bought this company at a very high price initially. So you pay the entry cost, and you pay the technology cost and the brand cost. Last year was a major change in the world with the coming of Apple and Android. Now all these companies were created as a benchmark with Nokia, because they were competing mainly with Nokia. Now suddenly when Nokia fall, and they could not compete with these big new technologies, so did the competitors. So last year we had a major failure in our products, which was coming basically from Chinese technology and Taiwan technology. It was a global failure. So it was a major change of technology. And it happens once every 10-15 years.
So it's something that you did not foresee?
It was something which not only we didn't foresee, the whole market didn't foresee. Android changed everything, because now everybody is Android. You cannot work with technology which is not accepted. When we bought these companies, we entered into a 3-year management agreements with the companies we bought. So we let the past owner run it. And they were very sure that these technologies will work. We had to virtually, take them out. That means we had to fire them. To cancel the contract, we had to pay them another $10 million. So they also wrote off $65 million of the future profit they could have earned. So ultimately we said, let's cut it off, let's go Android. And I went to US, we signed an agreement with Android. So we did that tie-up. We have already launched them in India. We will still be incurring some losses till March. We hope in the quarter of April to June, we will turn it around. In India, last quarter, we already turned it around, because there we took faster decisions.
So the AGM that you had to chair in October must have been rather difficult for you to have to face the shareholders and talk to them about these losses. How did you assure them that whatever plans that you have made or will be making will work?
As I said, we accepted, we explained them the issue, we accepted the mistake. I myself have lost a lot of money because I bought shares also at a very high price when I bought these companies. So I am very motivated to bring it back, because it's my wealth. I lost more than 120 million of my own money because of this. So I think I could understand their pain. I could relate to their pain. And the assurance is coming by changing the path. You change the strategy. You go now to Android. And as I said, we have already turned it around in India, and there is no reason we cannot do it here. But I think the key now is to get the confidence of the Singtel and the StarHub, because our products are not seen in Singapore.
So why isn't Singtel and StarHub using your products then?
I think they are just waiting and watching. So we have recently reapproached them through their partners in India and Indonesia, because they are using it. So I hope it will happen. But as I said, everything happens over time. So, Singapore takes its own process and system, which is nothing bad about it, but it's time consuming.
And is that how you run business most of the time? It's a waiting game.
We wait for the right time, and business is done long term. It's not a short term process. So I'm here to stay. So it's something which I'll build over time.
It helps to have deep pockets as well.
Well, not deep pockets, I would say, but it is something which I don't give up. So if I don't take a no, I just keep persisting, and that's how I got all the multinationals in the past to India, and that's how I will pursue my, journey in Singapore.
Why are you made this way? Why do you think you have this personality that refuses to take no for an answer?
I've been always fearless in my life. I have always chartered into new course. I love that, and a no is for me not a no. A no for me is that I need to work harder. And, the no can easily be converted to yes. You know how women says no in the beginning.
I'll take your word for that. All right. Would you say that this financial year 2012 was probably one of your lowest points in your career?
Well, I have seen these things because it happens in technology. We were the first one to enter computers and printers, and that was a big failure because when the copier industry went down and the printers came and the computer industry changed with PCs and all that. So when the technology changes, these things happen. It also happened in telecom and mobile service when 3G came and 2G went out. So whenever there is a technology switch takes place, I've seen these things happening. So it's not first time for me, it's a third time for me. It happened in office automation, it happened in 2G, 3G, and now it's happening in mobile internet. So it is a painful process, but we are not giving up. I have fired 65,000 people because I go in an industry, but that industry is not forever. You have to change.
It's the size of my hand. Did you just hear that?
We just had a jaguar growl at us.
Learn more about the elusive jaguar. Hunt for the shadow cat. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Only on Octo's Animal Night.
Another airplane, another sunny place.
In January 2013, Dr. Modi was in New Delhi to host a 3-day event which included a discussion on global consciousness. On the guest list were Indian royalty and ministers, billionaires, and top professionals. They gathered to discuss spirituality, the environment, and inclusive growth. The idea was to pave the way for a regular forum on global citizenship. Let's talk about your move to Singapore. Firstly, your late father, Rai Bado Modi, was an Indian nationalist. What do you think he would say if he were alive today, the fact that you have given up your Indian citizenship?
Actually, my father was there when India was not independent. And when the country is not independent, everybody is nationalist. I think in today's generation, I would rather define myself as global citizen. Once you define yourself as a global citizen, whether I'm a Singapore citizen or an Indian citizen, becomes secondary. Now in a globe, you want to live in one of the most developed part of the world, and Singapore is that.
Why not America, though, since you already have a home, like you said, in Palo Alto?
I think Singapore is a very global culture, and its future. And I love to, spend my time in U.S. But U.S. as a country is speaking out. So they have gone into from an area of leadership to area of protection. And I think Singapore does not have that issue. Singapore is aligning itself to the changing world. So I find Singapore is very much by nature in line with what I want to do.
You've often been called flamboyant, colorful. Is flamboyance a necessary quality or a good quality to be associated with a businessman?
I think if you are a global citizen, you have to have a global look. And I think flamboyant is a word which is being used by many people for different things. I am not a person who lives a lifestyle where I, do car racing or, things which are sometimes connected with the flamboyant in that way. But I think it comes from where I dress myself and how I, behave sometimes.
So you think your image makes other people be able to relate to you?
I think much better. They don't forget me first.
Surely not, surely not. Give me 3 factors that you would normally take into account when deciding if a particular business or partnership is worth going into.
Normally I look at a minimum 10 years horizon whenever I take a decision, because I feel that as a chairman of the group, my job is to think what will happen in 10 years. We have other people, CEOs and others, who are looking at quarterly results and yearly results. That's not part of my job. My job is to steer the group in future. So I set up companies. If they don't work, I close them. If they work, I expand.
Any emotions involved here?
Not really. I'm not, because, for something to come in, something has to go out. It's the same world. If a new technology comes, the old has to go out. So I've sold a lot of businesses. I came out of Xerox business and I saw it die. I came out of 2G business when I saw it die. I'm coming out of mobile business when I see it die. Because now is the Android-based internet business. So I get out of the business. I have in my life. I'm not very proud of it, but that's what happens. I have fired 65,000 people. Because I go in an industry, but that industry is not forever. You have to change. If you are emotional about something, you can't create something new.
So you can't be sentimental in business?
About anything. Even human being dies, that's why the youth comes out. So you cannot be, it's a nature of the universe that things dies and new things come up. And new things always evolve. It's not comes at the same level.
So what happens when it's got to do with family? 2 of your 3 children are